What's going on, everybody? AA Ryan here.
Raider Pete.
Welcome back to Westworldia, the PanNerdia Westworld breakdown review show where we're breaking down Westworld Season 3, Episode 2 tonight, titled The Winter Line. Now, before we get started, I hope everybody's staying safe out there, practicing social distancing. And we're definitely trying to. Our best here, but we're going to bring you some content. Hey, it's just the two of us, alright? Just the two of us. We can make it. Okay, I don't want to get, I don't want to get any strikes on my channel, so I'll stop singing that. But in the meantime, we're going to jump into the winter line and the Maeve's storyline here with a full Maeve episode, actually. No Dolores, no Aaron Paul, a.k.a.
So
Caleb.
full that it starts with a montage of Maeve's past for the fans to
yes.
refresh.
Yeah, it was,
Quick little brainwashing.
last time on Westworld kind of thing, but it was all Maeve edition from Season 1 till now. And then we end up right back with her in a new park where we last left off.
War World.
War World, which is pretty dope. Or is it War World? What? We'll get into that in a minute. But essentially, for now, just think of it that we're in War World, all right? The real War World. That's a mouthful. But Mark Wahlberg. If you guys know that reference. But either way, we're in War World. It takes place, it's inspired by Nazi-occupied Italy during World War II. We got Maeve, I'm assuming it's supposed to be some kind of spy as a Nazi, maybe. She's wearing red, maybe she's with the Italian army. With Stalin. Right, Stalin was World War II, right?
Yeah, but he was Russian, Stalin.
Stalin was Russian, fuck, Mussolini.
Mussolini was yes, the Italian dictator. Yes.
Yeah, see, I'm effing stuff up here, guys. But she starts back. She's already figuring out, okay, I'm back. I need to kind of figure things out and get my footing here. Turns out even Hector's back, and he's running around. I forget his name in the Italian war world.
Oh, Ettore.
Ettore, yes. And he's there, or Hector, and helping her out. And so far, so good. It seems like he recognizes her and he realizes, oh yeah, we got to get out of here. But it's soon found out through Maeve and, Hector's actions with Maeve that, well, he's actually just still programmed to do what he's doing. And she's like, well, you know what? I guess I'm going to have to just retry again. And goes ahead, or maybe she didn't think retry. She goes, maybe I should go see if I can find some old friends in the real world. See if they can help me out. So she
86'd herself.
Sure.
After she's like, Hector, El Torre, whatever. Like, here's the map. Why'd you do that for? Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like past Westworld seasons, try and try and try again.
And she's like, basically to Hector, none of this matters. Don't freak out because none of this is real. And remember that line because this show, what truly is real. So we see another little divergence, all right? We see a little divergence here. And we do get some more stories with Bernard, though. It's not just Maeve. We get some more Bernard storylines as he finally enters Westworld on the little, on the South China Sea via dinghy. It's really cool. He comes up to these like big pylons or like giant like shield wall structures that are around the island. That was really cool. We both noticed like man, it's I wonder if they're just like the final barrier for anything trying to leave that's now.
And the show also gave some coordinates at the bottom corner of the screen.
Yeah, during the divergence.
And it reminded me of two things. One, it reminded me of Walter White and where his barrels were hidden because of the exact longitude, latitude numbers. And then also just reminded me of like, I've always wanted an idea of exactly where this island off of the coast of China that is Westworld and everything else.
Yeah, like where is it?
Like is there actual place there at all? It's just totally fictitious.
If you guys are curious, pause it on the divergence moment and get those coordinates and go look it up on a map and see where they're plopping this big old terraformed mass in the southern China Sea. But yeah, we get past the island barriers, and we have Bernardo on his way, but we're switching back to Maeve. We're back in Maeve World, and while she awakens to find Felix working on her, of course. I mean, who else would be?
Good old Felix.
We assume that he was the one, him and Sylvester.
The cats.
The cats, you're right. They were there. They helped her get to where she's at because, they were able to scrap her up at the end of last season. At least that's what the camera showed
I
us.
thought they were gonna be like, oh, okay, like totally like we're under your thumb. What would you like us to do next? But instead, they were totally like,
yeah,
like lost. I'm like that right there. That was a small red flag.
you're right. It really was because I at first I didn't really notice Felix right away, but
Because
then I really
Sylvester's
noticed
an asshole
Sylvester.
anyway, though.
Yeah, but
so then it was like, he's just
And I was
a
like, but
jerk
why?
off.
He just totally, and then it made me think about Felix again. I was like, oh yeah, well Felix totally wasn't into her either.
Exactly.
So yeah, you're
Yes.
right. We're just like, wait, something's not adding up. And then something really effed up comes to be. Lee walks into the room with Glee and a cane and a little limp, a little pimp limp, and so you're like, okay, maybe he just got shot so many times or shot in the legs, and they just took him down. Like, stop walking towards us, we're taking you down. And well, I guess so because he's alive and kicking. Well, not really, but regardless, he's alive and totally saved the situation with Maeve and any of the soldiers coming in and taking her out because the alarm was sounded or whatever. They're like, nobody was really on her side at that moment besides Lee. Though we figured out pretty quick, and so did Maeve, that Lee really isn't Lee, and something's a little odd.
Well, the dead giveaway for me was, when they're in this so-called forge, and he's like, that's why I have you in War World, because it's really close to where the forge is. She's like, what the fuck is that? He goes, where the door was, where your daughter was last left. Don't you want to go?
Yeah.
But like when everything in the forge was so pristine, the blood was fresh on the floor, which shouldn't be at all fresh.
Yep, you called that out.
The computer screen Dolores shattered wasn't shattered.
Wasn't shattered.
And then the fucking headgear that Bernardo and fucking Dolores used to like key into the whole thing, that was like nicely covered and wrapped with plastic and put and put away.
Yeah, and it wasn't like post-flooded looking,
But
like
all in the while, Sizemore starts asking questions that are like immediately I had to say while I was watching with Aaron, like, is this that what's his name, that Surak guy?
Yeah,
like just sending a spy into the system because
right.
she's like bugging the system and he's trying to find what
I
the
was
bug
all
is.
trying to deny it and be like, no, dude, he didn't know about that. She didn't do the forge, and she doesn't know that Dolores opened the forge.
The leg limp was too much for me. I was like, oh, come on.
Right.
Right off the bat. Go ahead, though.
But then, and then it totally came to fruition. Like, he totally is just, a copy of himself.
Yes.
So much so that once he figured out that he is, he starts glitching like old Delos used to back in season 2. Yeah,
I'm
and but yeah, so pretty interesting. But we'll revisit that here soon because it gets even fuckier. I think we're deep enough in for me to say the F word. Yeah, we are 8 minutes. Sweet. It's like the first minute or something.
I didn't know there was a time rule or anything.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So, as Bernard searches Westworld, we're back in Westworld, by the way, he stumbles across Ford's old house, and he has to go look, because he's looking for any kind of clues.
And this is what you called, like I called the Sizemore thing pretty much, but you called...
Oh yeah, him finding...
Bernardo meat locker.
Yeah, He figured he'd go back there because he needs some help. Maybe he can find help in himself. Yeah. And that just made me think about something I saw in the preview trailer.
It was cool to see all the different versions split open and stuff.
You know what I'm saying about the preview trailer? We'll get back to the preview trailer, guys, later. I don't have it for you tonight, but we'll talk about it, that's for sure. Maybe I will throw it up there, who knows. Regardless.
You know what? You can throw it up at the end, and we'll just be like...
Cool, we'll just do that.
For how long was it? A 1 minute?
They're usually like 45 seconds long.
Okay, so for 45 seconds, we'll just be posed like this.
Cool, we'll throw it up there then.
We'll throw it at the end.
Hey, in the first episode, we messed up on a few things, especially me. The machine's not Reno Bomb, it's Rehoboam, which is a son. Which is a son of who did I say earlier?
Solomon, I believe.
Solomon, yeah, son of King Solomon. So either way, we messed that up. And also the Flanagan guy, he was just essentially the glorified bodyguard of Dempsey's father originally to help protect all this stuff, the whole company in general.
Correct.
And he was never the partner. I kept saying partner.
Head of security, but like so deep into the family and the company, head of security for both.
But he's going to protect all of this. You know, he's been protecting for 20 years. So some mistakes I made last time. Sorry, we had just watched the episode. Jesus Christ.
You know what though? I'm thinking that the head of security guy. Oh no. I'm using gloves on an iPad here. Oh no, here we go. Oh no,
Flanagan, yeah.
No, yeah, Flanagan. I think Flanagan's name.
I think that was the actor's name, maybe.
Oh yeah, right. Well, obviously this heavy Scottish accent.
Who now has a clone of himself too.
No, but who is the little bitch boy for the Man in Black that was always getting hung and stuff?
Oh, I forget his name. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. What about him?
I think maybe Lawrence, played by Clifton Collins Jr., might be
Flanagan.
You
know what? I never thought about them using Lawrence as one of the Pearls.
Because you know what? I was pretty sure that Maeve and her crew, since they all kind of perished right there at the door, that those were confiscated and now they're in another world.
We also never saw Lawrence run into the Sublime either.
But Lawrence, you know, like there were 5 balls. We'll get into that probably in other episodes.
One more thing to throw out there as another stick in all this craziness before we move on with the breakdown proper.
Just when you think you figured it out.
Right, is the freaking year situation, right? So it's supposed to be the year 2058. I did kind of the math. Last time the park had this crazy of an upheaval was 30 years prior, before it originally opened, where the whole Dolores killing Arnold thing happened, and they covered it up. That would make it the year 2028. That's only 8 years from now, and they're saying that 8 years from now, somebody out there's got the technology to build androids like this. Hey, somebody out there could be. I mean, they have those creepy robots now. You have like the Boston Dynamic guys making those robots that can't be fucking kicked over. You have there
are robots that can break dance right now.
Break dance. I mean, you have ones that can jump. You have ones that can run. You have ones that are
put that together with AI. Drone technology and everything else.
And the ones that are looking real that people are like fucking and stuff already. Come on, maybe, but it's pretty crazy. Just 8 years from now, Westworld. Oof. Anywho, let's get ready, guys. I think it's bad now. Wait till we have robot overlords, and it's the Matrix.
Exactly, and Westworld warned you. Here we are.
It really is. It really did.
It's like Westworld meets Walking Dead meets this and that. I mean, there's viruses. There's the future is moving faster because everyone has to be immersed in technology, no matter what. You're forced to stay home and immerse yourself in technology, as technology is moving faster than ever before. So it's like the fast forward button for all of us to move towards what is Westworld.
But more mind-blowing stuff as Bernard finds the Bernard bots. He finds Stubbs chubbed in the corner, and had apparently shot himself. And at this point, we all know that he's an android, right? Yeah. But it's completely confirmed here because as he awakens, and Bernard's like, "Oh dang, you're one of us."
So Bernard's presence activated him because his main core thing is to protect and help Bernard escape.
I said that he's essentially like the Android 16, but with a little more attitude and personality of Westworld because he has one purpose and one purpose only. It overrides everything else. He wasn't made to overthink the big things or to ever. Ford never gave him that part of his system to want to be sentient past the point of escaping the park because he knew he always had to be. He is the park guardian.
Correct, but there's no one to guard anymore, and the main goal was to get Bernard out of Westworld safely. So
once he was
his objectives were check marked. So his version of retire is shoot him in the side of the neck, himself in the side of the neck, to hopefully hit the. Speaking of Android 16, the explosive device that's built in
to blow himself up.
He missed. So he's there glitching. And by the way, that Hemsworth did a great job acting like a robot, acting like an android when he was glitching and coming to and starting to talk. Like, well done.
Was still giving some attitude, like
with the Chubbs attitude.
shit.
Yes.
And he even said, it's all about redundancy with him. And I think this show, in this episode particularly, was, again, showing the redundancy. And we're back to Maeve as she wakes up again back in her spot in Italy. This time she's like, no, I'm not playing around. Let's go. I know all this bullshit. Come on, Hector, let's do this. Take me to your car. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, yeah, and that's when she eventually finds Sizemore and starts breaking it down herself. Well, she already found Sizemore, but that's when he takes her to the forge. And that's when she pretty much figures out, well, not only is he not real, either is what she's in. This isn't the real world. Pete called it out too. The forge is a cracked screen. The doesn't have the cracked screen. Everything's nice and pretty. It's a simulation. That's right, a freaking simulation. And that's what she's in. Now remember, like the forge, like when Dolores went in the forge, it's kind of a simulation. She's in the library and all that shit. When Bernard went into the cradle, it was like a simulation of that. We didn't catch on to it right away until basically, because Pete called the Sizemore thing. We were both like, okay, well now what? And then she's like, this isn't even real at all. And what's brilliant about how they filmed this?
Yes, it is brilliant how they filmed it. But it is one thing before we get into the beauty of how they filmed it. The Liam Dempsey Jr. character, when he had that rooftop after party for his whatever they were benefiting something, right? That one guy that was like a young version of a Sizemore, kind of saying like, what if it's all just a simulation within a simulation? And it's like, well, here's the first example that they're effing with us. How much more is there? It made us think. We had to pause the show and say, are they going to end this season with, oh, by the way, Future World is actually a park that is a compilation of real cities. When you thought it was the real world the whole time, it was just another park.
Just another park, a simulation.
Or just another simulation of a park, or whatever.
Regardless, the simulation theme is going to be a big one in this season.
Yes.
And they really built it in. Not only did they sprinkle it in last episode, but they really built it into this episode. Because the whole first half had been a simulation. We hadn't realized it until
she paused everything in the middle of that courtyard.
Not only did she find out that Sizemore right then and there was not him, but she figured out that it was not real. But she had to convince him, and I think somewhat of herself still, that it was a simulation. And that's when they went on this mission to essentially glitch the system.
Yeah, before they left the tech station, she's noticed that her boy Hector, or whatever, Ettore, whatever you want to call him these days, he's paused and frozen with a bunch of good guys and bad guys, and she basically put a map that's his main storyline, copies of the map in every single character's pocket. And it came to life with her plan when she froze everyone in the courtyard and told them all, they're all traitors.
Oh yeah,
check your pockets.
But she figured that out before that even. She figured out that she had to glitch the Matrix by essentially giving these people who are in the system, these techs that are working on stuff, essentially a problem that was too complicated for them to solve, that they kept trying to rationalize, figure out between each other.
Yeah.
And then she threw essentially a
bust of herself.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. It was a bust towards their presence, and it started floating because there was a glitch around there, like the
Matrix.
system. Yeah, glitch in the Matrix. It was too much processing power. So she was like, F it, I'm gonna super override the system. I'm gonna make everybody freak out and not know what the fuck's going on, and also make all the techs in the background trying to figure out this problem. So while they're all trying to figure out in the internal system, they're all out there in the simulated park playing fuckery. And then that awesome scene where everything froze. I mean, froze past the point of, like, we're watching the behind the scenes afterwards, where, when they would say freeze all motor functions in the real world, and the hair still moves and everything. In this world, when everything glitches out, it's like stops time. Bullets are stopped. Blood's gushing out is stopped. People are like floating in ways they can't.
Whatever that moment was, where they're falling, jumping, shooting a Gatling gun, shooting a pistol, or even taking a hit, it's paused perfectly. And when we see the making of that, and how they're all like on like special harnesses and pillars and posts that of course are painted green because they're erased out, but they're replaced with this awesome like almost like a 300 style where it's like blood coming out, but it's like sheets almost of splatter.
Yeah, it's like dimensional splatter. Very well done. Yeah.
Very well done.
Yeah, they had a lot. They had a big budget this episode. I mean, this whole season's gonna be a big budget CGI wise. But they're doing a good job with the practical still and everything in it and melding it. But so much CGI, man. I mean, we get some really cool instances where we'll jump back to the real world before we jump back into the Maeve simulation as she tries to figure out how to escape. But back in the real world, we have Bernard and Stubbs on their journey to either pretty much find Maeve, and they end up running into. Well, I can't remember if this is before or after, but they do go to the locker, the meat locker, and they find Maeve down there, but her core is missing. So that means so the simulation, she is truly in that simulation somewhere, but where, right? But then they go to search elsewhere, and they end up, we get another vision of a park. Except this one's in the real world, so we still don't know if World is just a simulation park or if it's a real park at all.
Yeah, at least it's the tech building for what looks like medieval world.
Medieval world, yes. Right, which is freaking sweet. And man, oh man, did they have the biggest...
I was going to say we can do a little crossover right now.
I don't have any Westworld action figures. I need to get some though.
No, I was going to bring a GOT over.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. If we had a Westworld and GOT action figures. But yeah, perfect little HBO crisscross there with because fans have said it before. Like, what if Medieval World is really just the Game of Thrones is Medieval World and Westworld Park and blah blah blah. Yeah. And they played with that by putting the creators, the showrunners, DB and Daniel. Weiss or whatever, those guys as techs. Yeah. And they're working on
like another Sylvester and Felix just working on what else but
a dragon. Yeah. Well, Drogon actually. The exact freaking model they use.
And it's sitting there just chilling and breathing, all curled up like a dog would, in a dog bed.
How are they gonna get that motherfucker out of there? I guess they left the roof off. They have a giant.
But one of my favorite lines in the show was said around that point because as they're walking by these guys, she's talking about how humans are easy to decode too because their stupidity is only triumphed by their laziness. So you give them a question, just like an android, a question that they're not programmed to answer or even think about, it throws them for a loop. So she's like, I can hack into androids, I can hack into even this secondary or even third world, I can obviously hack into a human.
Oh, right, yeah, back when Maeve was basically trying to find that glitch, right? And then after she gets the system so effed and frozen, she eventually is able to, and Lee is still functioning there. I guess she did it to where he can still be walking around with her. She was able to basically override it to where she was able to actually look into the real world via surveillance cameras
on the iPad
thing into the room where her Pearl was sitting at. And it was really cool how they did this. They messed with the time distortion that he's like, why are they moving so slow? And like, oh, they're moving their normal speed,
but we're computer programs,
so we're faster. That's so cool, man. And
we've seen the cradle, we've seen the forge, and we've seen the I say it wrong, not Reno bomb, but Rehoboam. But now we're seeing this small little
like mini sim,
like mini thing that's obviously probably in our boy Sirach's like own personal.
It has to be his palace because once she infiltrates the mind of the programs of a maintenance drone that walks over, busts into the tank that's holding the liquid tank that's holding the Pearl, runs with it, sweet scene, man, with like the perspective of that thing's eyes as Maeve is controlling it, and it's like, throwing dudes' faces in the walls and like, running past them and hitting them all, but she keeps taking damage. You can see the little percentage damage in the corner screen like a video game HUD. And as it lowers and 50%, 40%, and then she gets outside, all running with this Pearl in her hand, and ends up getting taken out. And you see the big palace almost behind. We'll throw a shot back there behind us.
And that bot moved so fluidly, It was like
another great CGI.
A perfect CGI because it was like it moved fluid enough to convince you it was a bot, but it still had the human characteristics that, like, when you think of a robot, you don't think of that.
But
So
you have to give to the actor who
it
was
was
wearing
pretty
the motion capture suit, which
going
they did
up
have.
and down stairs, running outside, upstairs, and all that.
And in the behind the scenes, we got to see the actual actor do it all, so it was really well done. Like, it's cool, man. Again, using the practical and the CGI as a nice blend.
HBO, that's the way to go.
But at one point too, as we're going back into Bernard's world, as they were in the medieval world area, Bernard figured, I need to check myself before I wreck myself and see if I can find anything else new in this fresh computer, because the shit I was using in the real world, Dolores could have effed with it. She could have put something in there to stop me, but I need to see if there's anything else here that's hidden that's going to help us. So we get some sweet action where Stubbs is protecting Bernard as he's
as he's plugged
stuff.
in, he's got a stall, right?
Yeah, as he's checking for updates. And, so that was pretty interesting. And I don't know if that necessarily led to anywhere other than just a cool action scene, because we didn't learn much from what Bernard was trying to look for, but we did find out that he didn't finish getting all that he needed because Stubbs was like, we gotta go, bro. But they did get out of there, and they were even able to leave the island because Stubbs helped him get to the point where he's like, okay, let's go. And Bernard was like, no, dude, you're not gonna kill yourself. You're coming with me.
He's like, you're right here at the beach. You can go, and I can retire again. So he's ready to shoot his freaking explosive this time. Hopefully hit it. But yeah, Bernard or Bernardold, whatever you want to call him, he definitely was like, okay, so you don't really want to be totally sentient. I understand, but you're gonna help me anyway. So motor functions.
Yeah, he's like, stop motor functions. Let me switch things around. Let's go. It's like, man, you could have just asked. So it's a pretty funny dynamic duo they're going for, the gruesome twosome, so to speak. Let's see where those guys go. But we're not entirely done with all that is Arnold, Bernard /
So we're starting to
Armand.
see 3 teams forming, because we got Bernardold and Stubbs. They're a duo. They're a team.
Yeah.
You've got the Surak guy that's now trying to get Maeve on his team, and whoever else is helping him, technology or people. And then the third team would be obviously Dolores and our boy Caleb,
but also
and
Charlotte Hale,
and all the pearls that are in that bag. So like Charlotte's just 1,
and Flanagan's 1.
Flanagan's 2.
2, yeah. But okay, and we'll get to who's in Charlotte's head in a minute. But to Maeve now. Maeve finally wakes up because, dude, she had to have finally got whoever's attention she needed at that point. Effing with the simulation to the point where she controlled a robot to run out with her own freaking mind while, it's just so crazy. But essentially, she gets what she wants. She gets a meeting with the man, the person she's wondering who's been doing all this, and it's Surak. And
Enguerrand.
Yeah, very interesting name.
Enguerrand.
And he essentially tells her what he wants her to do, and that is kill Dolores. And Maeve's really not on board at first, so much so that she even tries to kill him, but we find out that she's still not in control.
He's got a garage door opener, click.
Yep, he's got a clicker.
All it took.
And he's like, well, let's try this again and see if we can come to a better solution next time.
Did Ford ever have a clicker for anyone? I forget, from season 1.
He never needed a clicker, remember? He
would have safe words and stuff.
He could just mind it, because remember he was talking to the Native American the one time, and he was able just to stop him in his tracks.
Correct.
So he probably had the clicker in his head. He probably just did a surgery on himself, or he was just a robot of himself the whole time. Regardless, that's where we end this episode, and we're left to see how Maeve's going to end up getting coaxed by Surak. Because regardless, even if Maeve finds Dolores later, is she really going to want to kill her? Or are they just going to team up? Is it really going to be Maeve versus Dolores? Or is it just going to be like Maeve's going to be like, alright, let's just team up and really take this shit down?
Yeah.
Who knows, man. But regardless, we got that started. And it's going to be very interesting.
I do think that Caleb's going to try to be the character for Dolores that's sort of like going to be the new Bernard. In other words, like sort of her conscience, like, oh, but not all people are bad, or not all androids are bad, or
Who
something
knows
like
how
that.
he's gonna be? It's an interesting.
And
with
she's
him.
probably like, you're already an android. You were the first
The
pro
thing
I
is,
installed.
He could have already been an android,
Yeah.
and the thing is, because think about how a lot of the scenes with him first episode was him waking up in bed, like how we got Dolores doing that, and we got Maeve doing that.
Correct.
So again, with how this episode went, and how it was just like Lee Sizemore robot simulation, all this other
It's a
shit.
fun new way to ride and watch the show now that you've watched 2 seasons of it. So
Yeah.
you're looking for things, including the way the screen goes from widescreen to non-widescreen.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what we were mentioning
They're
earlier.
letting old fans know, hey, this is what's up.
Because that's what they did last
Yeah.
season. If you guys remember, when they were either in the Cradle sim or the Forge sim, it went to widescreen. And when they're in the regular world, it was normal. And it actually did it tonight again. And the moment it did it, though, which was cool, and we didn't realize it at first, was when she realized that they're in a simulation. When she's like, when she had Lee freaking out on himself, Lee, and Psyduck, which is a Pokemon. She was able. That's when the actual screen went like this, and I didn't notice it at first, but it was brilliant how they did that. And it was like, yep, we're in a sim now. We'll put that. See if anybody notices, like our old trope. How do they? I forget. They actually had a word for it. Anamorphic. Is that what they said? Anamorphic filming for that shot. How it changes like that. I might be wrong, but regardless, it was really cool. I really appreciated that. I appreciate a lot of the ways they shot shit this episode, man. Beautiful. Even the Napa Valley, Italy, unless they really went to Italy.
Yeah, I mean, they could have just
been in California.
It could have been somewhere in California. I mean, it did look like a set with a fake background, but it could have been the real deal.
But anyway, guys, we got to talk about this preview.
Well,
right?
do we want to talk about it, or should we take a pause for 45 seconds?
Yeah, let's go ahead and see.
Why?
The way they built their world. It won't take much to bring it all crashing down.
What are you gonna do?
Start a revolution. Remember who you are. Now let me show you who you need to pretend to be. But why must I be her? Because I trust you. I feel like I'm changing. Be a good boy and go to sleep for your mommy.
Dude, that preview was freaking crazy, man. But the big thing that stood out to me was the last scene where, they're talking about, she was talking about, like, you have to be this person now. You have to pretend to be this person. And it showed the Charlotte bot sit down with the kid that Bernard used to tuck in as his cornerstone kid, which I'm pretty sure was originally Arnold's real kid who died.
So she was crying. She goes, son, I'm now your mother, and it's weird.
Right. And basically what we're getting at is the Charlotte bot, we pretty much think, at least I do, that it is Arnold, the recreated Arnold inside of Charlotte. And
Not
then,
the sentient Bernard.
Not the
but
sentient
just the regular, good old original Arnold.
Arnold bot. The one that was
Gotcha.
working. Because remember, we saw
When I
all
was working alongside Ford.
Yeah, we saw all the different
Season
Bernard
1.
bots. Yeah, the one that was working with Ford, that Arnold Bernard, not the one that's out right now, the sentient, now newly awoken individual. I have my own individuality, Bernard. So there's two separate.
Should Bernard and Stubbs have like a name, like Benubs or Stunard?
Bub.
Just Bub.
Bubs.
Like what Wolverine says. All right,
Bubs.
Bub.
Bubs. So yeah, man, that's what we're thinking. Basically, Dolores, because Dolores is the one who made Bernard. Remember, she's the one who took Arnold and kept re-asking it questions until. So I'm thinking she also could split the personalities, so to speak,
You're onto something.
and put one in Charlotte, the new Charlotte, and have the other one be the opposite. Think of like the original Namekian who split to Piccolo and Kami. Another DBZ reference, man. I mean, maybe Lisa and Nolan or Joy and Nolan are just watching some DBZ. I don't know. I doubt it. But
Goes around, comes around.
right.
Toriyama got a lot of inspiration from the West.
He did.
And maybe we're getting a lot of inspiration right back from his
From the
creations.
East, right? They did take inspiration from the East last season.
Yes, sir.
So man, oh man, a lot to talk about. This show is crazy as always. What a great episode, man. I'm not really sure where the name The Winter Line falls in play here.
I'm
Thinking about that because unless it has to do something with World War, the War World, I mean. But the Winter Line, there's nothing necessarily with winter here.
That's the episode?
The episode title is The Winter Line. See? The Winter Line. Episode 2. Season 3, Episode 2, The Winter Line. I'm not sure why it's called that, though. Maybe real quick, we can find... Let me type something up here real quick. Let's type in The Winter Line.
And next week's The Absence of Aurora.
The Winter Line was a series of German and Italian military fortifications in Italy, constructed during World War II. An organization. Yep. So there we go. It did have to do with the war. So boom, that's where the title comes in. And well, that was the title of episode 2 of season 3. We were glad to break it down, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we do. Yeah, next week, me and Peter are talking over, but next week will most likely be a solo review, just because the state of the world right now.
Although, you know what? If I can somehow convince my better half to come back to the studio and do this next week, and it's kind of a safer day to do it or whatever, maybe we should do the next show dressed up like villains from My Hero Academia and get some like really cool face masks.
Yeah, we'll play it. We'll play it safe. It's only the two of us here anyway. But either way, we'll play it. We'll play it safe. We're gonna still enjoy the show, and regardless,
cool.
I might even, if it comes to it, if it actually comes to it, we're just like, we really want to talk about the show, and we have to say where we're at. Maybe I can get you in on like a Skype call or something.
That would be funny if
live.
you just did a solo and you just wanted like a quick reaction from me, and you just put me on your phone and Skype and raise it up like this.
Right. Yeah.
Put it up to the.
Well, I might even be able to
microphone.
do it to where I can Skype and put your Skype call next to, and just put it in your spot right there you're sitting at now, but it's just a video of you.
That would be hysterical.
There's a lot of things we
God.
can do, but we'll figure it out. Regardless, guys, hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next week. Peace out. Westworldia.
Westworld.